Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. In today's talk show, we are going to talk about another buzzword, that is social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship is all about recognizing the social problems and achieving a social change by employing entrepreneurial principles, processes, and operations. It's about identifying a particular social problem and then organizing, creating, and managing a social venture to attain the desired change. In this particular talk, we are going to talk about the mindset that you need to have, the processes and the business models that will be absolutely helpful for you to become a social entrepreneur. So in today's discussion, I have invited a great human. I call him a great human because I see the great human values demonstrated by this individual. He's also a courageous social entrepreneur. I know that he left his corporate job to become a social entrepreneur, wanting to solve some of the burning issues that we face in our day-to-day life. He has a vision of planting 2 million trees, and he's none other than Hasanka Padukka. Please join me welcoming Hasanka Padukka. So I'm going to bring Hasanka on screen.
Hi, Niro.
Hi, Hasanka.
Hi.
It's my pleasure to have you on this particular show. It's my privilege as well. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for inviting me to your talk.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to talk to individuals like you. It's not very rare. It's not very very much the possibility for most of us, because at one point you have to be courageous in order to move away from the corporate job particularly, right? So I really appreciate your efforts. I really see the impact you have started making. So that's exactly why you are here. Yeah.
Yes.
So this particular talk will be on LinkedIn as well as on YouTube. So if you are joining YouTube, please do comment. Those comments will appear in our stream studio. If you're on LinkedIn, you can do the same thing. You can ask, you can comment, talk about any insights you have, bring them up during the discussion. We are going to pick them during the discussion. So looking at the comments, I already see one comment from Akram Azan. Hello Akram, thanks for greeting us. Appreciate your time here. I'm sure this is going to be really helpful for you, since we have a good entrepreneur with us. Yeah. So let's start the show. Hasanka, to start the discussion, I would like to ask you to give a bit of introduction yourself, because I think that's a good starting point. If the audience can get to know who Hasanka Padukka is, and also what is your vision around social entrepreneurship.
Right. Thanks, Niro. I am Hasanka Padukka. I schooled at Prince of Wales College, Moratuwa, and then went to Rajarat University to do my BSc in Business Management, and then started my career at JK Marketing. Most probably people know as Field Super, as an outlet manager.
Right.
And then went to Dialogue as a project manager. And after Dialogue, 2 years back, I left my corporate job and start my own venture called Vibhava Solutions Private Limited. So Vibhava focuses on building solutions for certain sustainable development goals.
Right.
And currently I drive two initiatives. One is Thuru, another one is Zero Trash.
Zero Trash.
Yes. So I am wearing many more hats in terms of youth activities. I am a gold awardee from the Duke of Edinburgh International Award and serving as a national training panel member.
Right.
Uh, so this is it. Wearing multiple hats and try to deliver positive impact towards both nature and the community. With the knowledge I have expected for last few years.
Right, right. So I'm just going to ask one more question on the same, particularly about leaving your corporate job to become a social entrepreneur, right? I think it's one of the most courageous things to do, right? Particularly thinking of quite big salary that you'd have got, right? Just forgetting about that 1 month salary, monthly salary that you get at the end of the month, knowing that you will not have a very, fixed income at least for some time. Just what was the main reason behind this particular venture?
Right.
What kind of pushed you to become a social entrepreneur?
I can bring it like this, Niroshan. So we started Thuru while we were employed at Dialogue, and it was like just an idea. So this idea, little by little, day by day, it grew a lot. It has a massive potential. So I thought of accepting the challenge and why not materialize the objective of planting 2 million trees. For a corporate, I might be a one single person, one resource. That resource can easily be like replaceable. So when I'm young, when I am more capable in terms of doing things, I thought of why not I take this challenge. We call it as a big, hairy, audacious goal. Planting 2 million is a big, hairy, audacious goal, BHAG objective, a goal. So I thought taking this thing and like do my best to get materialize this objective. And the second one is like we have a very limited time span, timeline in terms of life. We don't know when we exhale the last breath. So it's like whatever you do good, you have to do fast. You don't have a second chance. So for me, tree planting, I figured it out. Planting tree was my passion. So passion-driven initiatives, right? I like that. I felt that this is the right place. I have to go and fit in. Apart from all of these, we have not taken the consequences of climate change in that much serious note. So we are running daily. We are running like a marathon, but none of our people have that visibility. What would be the environment by 25 years or 50 years? We call the term sustainability every time. We call the terms like CSR, but we rarely call about climate change. If the temperature increased by 1 Celsius, what would be the climate impact? How would the sea level rise works? So there are much more problems to occur, but in the short time span, as a human, we have to do a lot more things to make things right. So I think these are the 2 or 3 major things which really push my limits. and take this decision. I there were no like there was nothing going right in the beginning, right? But even now the COVID came, but it doesn't, and nothing helped me to write. Nothing was there to stop me, because whenever you do good, nature will definitely reward you. So that's the simple thought process. Nothing much more than that. I just left the corporate job for a cause. There was no materialistic thinking that I will become an entrepreneur and I will make X amount of rupees or dollars. Nothing that. Just a thought that I need to materialize 2 million trees project, which was brainchild not only in my head but also as a team. There was a time where someone needs to take this decision. Someone needs to leave his full-time job and materialize the Thuru objective. So that's how it worked. Went out. Niro, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry about
Right.
that. Yeah, thank you for that. So I was just thanking you again. Thanks for being courageous and leaving your job to become a social entrepreneur, solving some of the pain points that we have, right? So even again, zero trash. When I heard of it, I was really inspired by that, because it's very rare incident that I can come across, particularly someone who left the corporate job thinking about the trash, right? How to get rid of the trash to make the environment better is kind of a inspirational thing. Yeah. So Hasanka, since there will be quite a few of colleagues watching us, listening to us, wanting to become entrepreneurs, as well as some colleagues might be already entrepreneurs, not knowing enough about the entrepreneurship, right? Particularly about social entrepreneurship. Let's define the term. Now, what I want to ask you at this point is, as a starting point, can you define entrepreneurship first place? Then can you go into the social entrepreneurship and define it? What is entrepreneurship? What is social entrepreneurship?
Right. So entrepreneurship is uh, using resources and figuring out a problem, creating a value, uh, build up a solution to fulfill a problem with an intention of making profits. That's the most summarized uh, definition I can give for entrepreneurship. Uh, so social entrepreneurship, uh, like it's it's a branch of entrepreneurship. So if I go into social entrepreneurship, that means to solve social, environmental issues through a model, a business model, which deliver not only profits but also positive impact. So that is social entrepreneurship.
Okay, great. Hasanka, there seems to be an echo. I Shall we check whether we have opened any YouTube or LinkedIn windows? It might be the reason as well.
Right. But
Maybe I should echo when you talk. Let's try that.
sure.
Okay. Uh, okay. So let's continue. Thanks for the feedback, JP. JP is from India actually. JP, I we hope this talk will enlighten you on some of the knowledge areas here, and at one point you will contribute as a social entrepreneur as well. And the good news, good thing that I saw on this particular topic is about Hasanka. Now, sometimes, now I work for a corporate, right? So I am a corporate employee, but at the same time, my spare time could be utilized to, you know, impact the society, community, right? Maybe solving a problem that I think uh, I could solve for the betterment of the community, right? Now, again, if you look at this talk also is focused on some sort of value delivery free of charge, right? I think this is the question I had myself, Hasanka. Now, when you say solving the social problems, is it always a burning issue? Can it be problems like sorting out the communicational gaps, sorting out the mindset? Like I mean, if you see that a particular community has a wrong mindset, right? That is not productive enough. That doesn't help them to grow as a community, as a city, country, or a big community. Is it kind of categorized under the same topic, social entrepreneurship?
So, in terms of social entrepreneurship, so because that's right. In terms of social entrepreneurships, when people might think that I am wearing green, so it has to be very much related to environment, nature, or any green topics. That doesn't necessarily needs to be an environment related thing. It might be related to community. It might be related into livelihood development. For an example, we go into the rural level. So you are Niro. You are. I'm sure, and I know that you are confident enough to teach, like coach people, deliver project management or any other competency subjects to young people, undergraduates or village to children. So you thought of going multiple cities around Sri Lanka, delivering a program to give them pass them the essence of project management or agile project management techniques, or even the branding piece you do. So you are good in personal branding. So you deliver them about how to build your brand. So that's one of the thing which we can really tie up with social entrepreneurships. So the reason I'm telling you that is social entrepreneurship most of the time relates with volunteerism. Social entrepreneurship most of the time has a business model which can scale and replicate in different geographical locations and in communities. So what you need to do is like you train fewer peoples, let them to build a program and deploy them around Sri Lanka, for an example, and then to cover up their expenses, you will partner with any organizations, or you will have a self-sustaining revenue lines. Either you solve something, or you any affiliated marketing or anything. So you have a self-sustaining revenue sources to continue your program. So very simply, that is about social entrepreneurship. So if you make profits, that's great. But apart from profits, you have done a positive impact towards the community. So even though I wear green, that doesn't mean that wearing green means social entrepreneur. Whatever you do, whatever the subject you do, if you solve a social issue, if you see And if you can develop that business model to make itself sustaining, make sure that it's sustained, and apart from that, if it is has tangible outcomes, I'm sure whatever the thought process you have as a philanthropist or a volunteer will also continue for certain time period, and it can be scalable. So this is the framework of social entrepreneurship. You need to have an idea. So it might be a brilliant idea, but it idea has to fit on for a problem. So even though you have an idea, so you need to review the problem statement. Problem statement means problem. You have to have empathy, and then you have to define the problem, and then in terms of definition of problem, you need to this empathy is the main piece. You have to wear their shoes, you have to understand their pain, you have to feel it, and then you will do a solution. So then you'll do a rapid prototyping. I'm explaining the design thinking process, but that is it. So then you will do a prototyping, and then you will do certain like mock runs, and then you will launch. The day one, when you do these talks of, I'm getting for an example you, which has much more relevance. Then in the early days you don't have any like income, but you will continue it, you will do it. That is the investment. So down the line, when there are more eyeballs, when you get feedback, Niroshan, while watching your programs, I have improved certain aspects of branding, my qualities, personal qualities, etc. So then that's the return you get. But then sometimes it might be a corporate see, hey, you are delivering much more positive impact towards the students in terms of education perspective. So let's partner. So we'll bear up your cost, and we will. So that's how. So that's the model. So then you will train many more people. So you will scale this around 25 districts, or you will go into South Asian countries. So this is it. You can apply this to anything. The only difference between entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship is the prime objective of entrepreneurship is profits, numbers, monetary numbers. In terms of social entrepreneurship, when you figure it out this way, needs to be the next like the pathway or the next model of business continuity. So then you will not only focus on profits, but also you will try to deliver much more amount of positive impact. I repeat the word, the positive impact. You might be in technological background, you might be in educational background, you might be in any other disciplinary area. It doesn't matter. As long as you deliver the positive impact, as long as you make even break even stage, I think you can define you as a social entrepreneur, because you have that philanthropist mindset, and also the business mindset. If you have the philanthropist mindset, you will only you then what happens is, like, until the founder has the fund to manage the initiative, they can enjoy the benefits. Once the founder like whether he suppose he's got bankrupt, or he doesn't have that funding sources, right? So this initiative will discontinue. But in terms of social entrepreneurship models, what happened is, like, you will act as the philanthropist, but your good work will continue. So this is it, Niro. So you need to have this is a bit of hybrid version. Uh, that doesn't mean that social entrepreneurs can't make profit. They needs to make they can make profits, but majority of the either profits or the impact has to go through the bottom of the pyramid.
Got it, got it. Thanks for the insightful answer, Hasanka. Appreciate it. So I think you answered my next question as well. It's basically, is it a viable thing, right? Is it a viable option for entrepreneurs? Now, so as you rightly mentioned, if I just summarize or just put my understanding down, uh, anyone can be an entrepreneur, particularly a social entrepreneur. If you are someone who is solving a social problem, you are already in that caliber, right? And then you probably need to have a starting point, and from there you just get started, and then you start thinking how do you monetize, how do you make profits while solving a problem that a community has. And the problem doesn't have to be just planting trees itself, right? It can be any problem that the society goes through. And your example, from my life was that my competencies on speaking, public speaking, coaching, and training can itself be a venture in itself, right? So that's a great insight. So I'm sure there will be a lot of colleagues who are watching us, listening to us on our podcast, wanting to contribute, make an impact to the society, but they might not be very clear how to go about it, right? So I think as we plan this talk together, that is one of our objectives here, right? Because we want to kind of share our experience, and then let our colleagues realize, okay, I can also be one of these entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, while I'm continuing my corporate job, right? It's all about the balance, right? You're not gonna compromise any of these two. While trying to balance it out, I think there is an opportunity for all of us to solve certain problems that our community goes through. So another example that I saw, it's a great one, I thought, Hasanka, is that so there is this in Matara, there is social entrepreneurship. It's kind of charity, but of course they have a business model that I know. It's about taking the street dogs and basically adopting them, right? So they undertake dogs at any condition. I have seen, like, the fellows who are going through hell of a life, right? Some are being injured heavily due to road accidents, and some were having a lot of skin wounds, all that, right? So I mean, what they do is they basically deliver that value service, and that they of course have to live their life, right? So there has to be one way or the other to monetize and make some profits. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that we can think of. That's what I understood. So we see a few comments, Hasanka. Let's run through it. JP is from India again. Thanks for joining, JP. Appreciate your time here. Please advise how bio waste, both organic and inorganic, are handled in Sri Lanka. Asia, all waste management formulas are less or even need. Okay, sorry, I'm going to bring that here. In Asia, all waste management formulas are less or even need improvements compared to US, Singapore, Canada. How to improve this line? You want to quickly touch base on that, Hasanka? I think it's a very relevant question for you.
Right. So waste management is like a broader subject. So I can start with the eco calming. So waste management is a broader subject. We can talk, but I will go through with the JP's question. Very like in Sri Lanka, we have government organizations and the private organizations, and there are private partner PP models also going in. In terms of circular economy thing, numbers are very low in terms of recycled amounts. Government has managing more than 300 opened dump yards in Sri Lanka. Some are like sorted waste, some are not sorted waste, but also government is investing huge in terms of much more organized government disposable store facilities. And then meantime, private organizations, there are multiple there's a massive organizations, they use waste as an energy source. So however, personally, I am not that happy with the practice and the policy personally. So that's why I started I co-founded Zero Trash with Heminda Jayavira. One day when I went into a landfill to plant trees in we have seen there are tons of mixed waste accumulated in a landfill very close to Colombo. So we thought of sorting sorting was the problem, but then I realized that there are no effective waste in terms of recyclable and non-recyclable waste disposable collection process in Sri Lanka. So that's why I started in a small venture called Zero Trash. So we collect plastic, we collect different types of plastic, sorting. We add value as sorting and transporting in for recyclers. So compared to Singapore, compared to Canada, US, there are plenty of opportunity to improve what we do. So all the government authorities, ministries trying to do a change, but I believe the change starts within the people. So people need to be more cautious about what they consume and how they dispose material. So the government has to really think on the legal framework, how to discourage certain packages, how to encourage certain businesses, and then how does the system really needs to work towards solving this waste. And then the private organizations, they really need to think on waste as a source of income. So trash to cash is how we really can solve this problem. I think private sector has a huge opportunity to solve this issue. If we can, I'm sure that 2021, this year, we will see and we will witness much more positive progressing projects in terms of minimize this waste issue. For the moment, I'm not that much happy because we have to do much more good things to fix this issue. If not, the waterways in Sri Lanka will be polluted, and it's the rate of pollution is very high, and then because of certain non-recyclable waste, there are much more risk needs to come because of the health issues. There's a huge risk in Sri Lanka in years to come because of contamination and other sort of things. So I think I have certain light on the topic, but this is this we can talk about this issue like hours, but everything depends on how we act. Actually, organizations, public, people, and the government has to think in the same pathway. We need to produce, or we need to import less amount of non-degradable plastic or other solid waste to Sri Lanka. And in terms of consumption, we need to be cautious on the packages. As a producer, private organizations, companies need to think twice when they do packaging. How good we package this product, healthy but environmental friendly. When we consume products and after consumption, as public people, we need to think on how good we properly route these into recycling pathway. And corporates, they have an they are something called extended producer responsibility. They are not only liable until the consumption. After consumption, how does they manage the respective waste as the package? So that also has to be on their hands, their plans. How do we manage this problem? So it's like a huge, I would say, like a beehive. We need to solve one by one hive at a time, and then each and every piece we need to solve that puzzle. If not, the effects, the effort what we do, we deliver, it will not deliver the anticipated results. That's the main issue in terms of in the Asian country, more or less. Not only the government, we can't entirely force government, not only the government, but also the private sector and also the public. Public has to be more accountable and responsible, basically responsible. Private organization has to be accountable, and government organization has to be more directive, like they have to guide people how to solve this waste issue. I think that's it, Niro.
Okay. Thank you, Hasanka. JP, hope Hasanka answered your question. So if you do have any further questions, please drop them in the comment segment. So JP is actually joining from the LinkedIn feed, LinkedIn stream, and then there's yeah. So I saw Akram. Is Akram from LinkedIn? Akram from LinkedIn as well. Shana, thanks for the wishes. Best of luck, Hasanka. Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Then we have, yeah, so far we have one more comment from Akram. Hasanka, let's pick it after this question, right? Akram, we are going to pick up your question soon. Yeah, so we'll go through a few more questions and then pick it. Okay, Hasanka, the next segment where I want to focus on something really critical for anyone who wants to be a social entrepreneur, anyone who is already a social entrepreneur or just an entrepreneur, right? Also, if someone wants to have an entrepreneurial mindset, irrespective of whether you are just a corporate employee, this discussion is going to help you, right? So the question I want to ask Hasanka is this. This is about the competencies. Now, if I want to be a social entrepreneur, can you just tell us the top 3 competencies that one should have?
First one is there are multiple we say characteristics or competencies one needs to possess, become an entrepreneur or social entrepreneur. But I will pick three uh, based on my experience, based on my thought process. One is empathy. I really value for people who have empathy, because we have Niro, I am traveling most of the cities in Sri Lanka for different like for my projects. I have seen the high network people who possess everything, much more assets. They have accomplished much more things. And meantime, I have seen many more people who even can't manage their meals, who even at least cannot enjoy the required calories, right, per day. So these are the two ends, right? People who have abundance of resources, much more resources, but people who don't have nothing. And in terms of local and international context, people thought processes, competencies, capabilities are different. So whoever wants to become an entrepreneur need to think on who is my customer, to whom I'm going to go and pitch this solution. So he or she needs to define, you have to think empathically on what is the pain, how this person feel. You have to embrace that problem. You need to wear their shoes, and I think that's it. So unless you can figure it out, the pain, you can't build solutions. You will build solutions, but it would not fit for the respective segment, or we say target market. So the very first competency would be that mindset of the empathical thinking to become a social entrepreneur. And the second one is he or she needs to be mission oriented. They need to have a bigger goal. Some might accuse me, some might criticize me that me and my team is trying to plant, always had that dream of planting 2 million trees. People say, how the hell you will plant this 2 million trees? But we still believe on that dream. Why? Because when you dream big, when you dream big, you are trying to add value. When you only add value, you can build a business. But it will be happen on later years. In the initial years, it has to be on a mission oriented perspective. Continuity will come later. First, it has to be based on a valuable mission. So if you are a mission oriented person, if you see the big picture, I think you have the next best and the most required next best competency to become a social entrepreneur. And last but not least, the third one is accountability. So you need to be accountable. Whenever you talk, whenever you even walk, whenever you think, it has to have that accountability in line with all your activities. I can't either plant trees and secretly go and cut like forest, right? I can't use much more plastic and then ask people to reduce plastic. So this accountability thought process is, I would say, much more powerful success factor for things you do. So people will, whenever people talk about the buzzword entrepreneurship, they will think about rupees and cents, much more things. But when it comes to social entrepreneurs, I would say this is from me. I have been always been failed. I would say rejected multiple of times by bearing like uh, like taking my mission, like planting 2 million trees, collecting X amount of kilograms, multiple times of rejections. Even the pitches I did didn't went well, right? But we really believed it. We never thought we never demotivated. We always had the right thought process. This will work one day. This will have a model. What we need to figure out is we need to keep going, the perseverance. So accountability is like, now we have a very short span of timeline so far, so around just 4 years for all these initiatives, but we manage to maintain that accountability, and also we will continue it. So profit profit will not be the number one thing for us, but we are much more focused on profits. In terms of doing certain projects, we talk about rupees and cents, but we sometimes, for certain categories, for certain clients, for certain communities, we compromise our profits. We use our profits to do certain things free of charge. So let me repeat, you have to be, I would say the word, you have to have empathy, and you have to be a mission oriented person, and you need to have that accountability. Rest of the things, I don't say that those are not relevant, but they might have the same importance. But I will pick only these three. Whoever have these three will succeed in the journey of becoming a social entrepreneur. One more thing to add, Niro, that is, you doesn't you there are entrepreneurs who were born entrepreneurs, right? They were like always inherited with their parents, their family, their parents' legacy. There may be many more entrepreneurs, right? So that's the one way of becoming an entrepreneur. But most of the people I have seen, they didn't have that legacy, right? They were like created by either their background or the people they associated. They have cultivated good mindsets, thought processes in these individuals. They have been sharpened by their life experience. So that's how I would say, the real entrepreneur has to grow. The failures always will be a jewel for all of us, not only for you, for me. Even whenever I fail, I will try for the next best uh, uh, opportunity. Uh, there are multiple of areas. If, we don't know, in future there may be many more to come, but perseverance is apart from these three, perseverance is also another good thing, because when you do projects which are not monetary attractive, all the things we do are not monetary active. There needs to be a refinance thing. Whenever you do non-monetary attractive projects, perseverance is a must.
Great points, Hasanka. Really appreciate. You brought up really valid points. JP noted it down for everyone. Thank you, JP, being a really helpful, supportive, noting down, attentively listening to us. Uh, so, yeah. So as Hasanka mentioned, you know, surely you would have an entrepreneur inside you, right? So maybe you are not still, waking the fellow up, right? Maybe this is the right time because we have enough problems that we need to solve. And in fact, right, a lot of things that I do outside my work schedule is about delivering some value, at least in my mind, right? Trying to help someone now. So, if it's not a major problem that you are trying to solve, right? See whether you have the right competency to solve at least one problem that the community has, and if so, go for it, right? Now that is where I'm being proud as a father. Hasan, my daughter is just 11 years now. I got her to think entrepreneurial way when she was 8. Now she's in the habit of thinking that way, right? So when she learns something, for example, she's learning singing, right? She wants to see how she could monetize this, right? And I'm saying, being someone who wants to kind of deliver the right contents, one thing I'm saying is think of the ways you can use that competency, singing as a competency, to deliver some value to the community, right? It's a mindset. I think that is where everything starts. So I'm sure most of us have the entrepreneurs inside us. Some of us just keep the fellow, you know, shut up throughout our lives. Some of us are able to really take the fellow up. Yeah. So great inputs. So with that, Hasanka, I'm just quick time check. I have few questions. Are you okay to extend it by about 15 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that as well. So the next question, I will bring this up. Shall we quickly, before we forget Akram's question? Actually, let me bring one more thing. Maybe you just realized this. Janita wants to join you, right? To plant trees. So possibly Hasanka, Janita, get in touch with Hasanka on LinkedIn or Facebook. He will definitely take you in. Thanks for your interest. Great to see that someone is really keen to join Hasanka right away. Yeah. So yes.
Thuru is like I'm briefly given a heads up on Thuru, what Thuru does, right? So we started Thuru in 2016. We were like a hike to Sripada, Adams Peak on off season. And then the entire journey, Heminda Jayavira, myself, Tarandu Kodikara, all of us was like ideating a solution where how do we enhance the green cover, forest cover in Sri Lanka, because the time there were like much more like the deforestation rate was very high. So it's what like it's continued that thing. So we thought in Sri Lanka there are 21 million people, right? So how can we collaborate 1 out of 10 people and raise the consciousness among them to plant a tree and look after it for 20 years? So to connect the like-minded people, so the strategy was like we developed an app called Thuru, Thuru, which is now available on Android and iOS free of charge, no ads, nothing. And so far so on, there is no any monetization on Thuru app, right? So we got a 300,000 seed money from Dialogue. We pitched there in Dialogue while we are employed, and then we developed the product with the MVP. and still and then I Eminda went to Power. I went to Kotiak Vadnadas. Then we partnered with Mobitel. They became our technology partner. They became our communication partner. So we rewrite the app, and then we created Thuru volunteer network. So as Janitha, I would say Janitha wanted. So we have volunteers. Even yesterday we planted trees at Goal, right? So we created whenever we do whenever when we start thing we haven't nothing we had nothing anything with us. We didn't knew about trees. We didn't knew about uh, like forestry. We even didn't have one single plant with us. We had a only app with very less users, right? So for the last 4 years, we grew the Thuru concept into a volunteer network, into an outgrowing model, into a online store which was hype active during the COVID season, and we have like new technologies. We have tested drones for tree planting, and we have an educational pillar. So much more things, but a small ecosystems. We extend services for corporates. We have something called Thuru Seed Pod, which was a technology developed by the Sri Lanka Institute of Nanotechnology. We serve for weddings, events. Then now that's it, Thuru. So the strategy in Thuru is like to raise awareness, get people, individuals and organizations to plant trees and look after them. We are not a team just go and plant. We have a follow-up plan. So app is just an enabler, a platform to record your individual or group level contribution. So Thuru he has gone into different South Asian countries, and plenty of things to do, Niro.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you. So again, thanks, Janita. I think Janita, yeah. Janita, thanks for your comments. Appreciate your keenness to join Thuru for this initiative. We have right. BMB is say, I'm looking forward to plant hundreds of trees. Will it be possible to get knowledge on where and how to plant trees? Yeah, so definitely, so you can follow up. So you can follow up with Hasanka. I'm sure Hasanka, you can connect with. I cannot figure who exactly the person is. It's from YouTube, right? So search for Hasanka's profile, Facebook profile, LinkedIn profile, Hasanka Padukka. Then you should be able to connect with him, right? From there, I think you can get this done easily because you are thinking of hundreds of trees. Yeah, so great intention there as well. So let's pick up Akram's. Okay, Akram, think it's answered, right? So Akram was asking. The question was this, Hasanka. Maybe let's pick it up in just a few minutes. Seeking your advice on the below, please. You mentioned growing trees as an initiative. How do you plan on growing your business when it comes to the above mentioned? Yeah, you got the name wrong. That's perfectly all right, I think, Akram. So I think let me combine this with my next question, Hasanka. Now, clearly, when you talk about social entrepreneurship, it's not just charity. It's part of it. It's not pure charity, right? Because you are not just trying to do charity only, right? So I mean that's a major aspect. Now, I think I came across this term quite recently, specifically about the term social entrepreneurship when I met you, Hasanka, in one of the university talks that we did. So I'm sure there are a lot of colleagues watching us, will be listening to us, will be watching us, wondering, hey, how do I make money out of a charitable service, trying to solve a community problem, social problem, how do I monetize? How do I make profit? Right? I'm sure the answer is around doing the value proposition first place, right? Identifying what are the specific problems that we are trying to solve. Is it a pain point or like a gain creator that we are thinking of, right? If it's a benefit, for example, like if I'm trying to help someone to be better in their communication, it might not be a huge pain point, but it's kind of a gain creator, right? So my strategy would be example, right? I'm going to say, hey, if you are an engineer, I can help you to double your salary through your communication competency. So it's a gain creator, right? I help the people to do, work on a gain than a pain point. So there will be pain points as well. Someone is absolutely bad at communication speaking, then I'm trying to help that person to uplift that, right? So that's fun. And then the second thing, I think the question is this, my question is this, are there any business models that social entrepreneurs can make use of, Hasanka? Now if someone wants to monetize at one point of the journey, what are the specific business models that will help them?
Right. So Niro, I will just go through with this question, right?
Sure, sure.
That's how does tree planting, like planting trees, growing trees,
Yeah,
and as I said, how to make money.
sure.
Right. So, we are blessed, like to born in Sri Lanka. When you get your countries and other American countries or other countries who have these seasons, they have winter and other sort of seasons. But in Sri Lanka, more or less, we have very sunny climate year, like throughout the year. So we are one of the major highest biodiversity hotspots in the world, and we are blessed to have much more sanctuaries for forest reserves. Anywhere you go in Sri Lanka, when you dig 2 to 3 feet, you will definitely figure out that wetness, right? I would say not water, like the soil is that much, has that the capability to have water levels, right? So whenever you see go move, you can find adequate abundance of seeds drop off in each trees. So we have much more variety of flora and fauna in Sri Lanka, right? But although we are losing our forest cover, apart from that, in the world, the temperature is rising. The best machine ever built to mitigate, not mitigate, mitigate the climate change, or the best AC machine we have, or the best climate controller we have, or the best machine which give enriched food for us, the best machine which enrich the soil, the best machine or the system which build an ecosystem to like for birds, insects, other animals, is none other than trees. So I would see in years to come, we need to plant plenty of trees just to mitigate the climate risk. It will not only be in Sri Lanka, but also in much more other locations in this world. So now we experience the COVID thing. So then certain food items, certain like uh, uh, items, products are being banned or reduced by importing. So now we are going through a pathway that we self-sustaining is the best way. So most of our medicines are being imported. So we have this incentric thing called Helavedakama, the Sinhala, the Sri Lankan Ayurvedic thing, right? So all the medicines are being, either we will produce certain ingredients for these modern, the Western medicines are being cultivated or grown in Sri Lanka, or even most of the Ayurvedic medicinal materials are developed in Sri Lanka. So there are plenty of things as trees or plants we can do. So what you need to do is like Akram to pick and a suitable pathway. Are you focusing on forest plants? Are you focused on fruit plants which can generate fruits? Whether you focus on rare species, indigenous species, where you focus on medicinal plants. So these are the things. So whenever you start small about planting trees, like collecting seeds, preparation of soil, the grow medium. So then the propagate, either you propagate this or either you have a germination process. So then you step by step you will develop from seedling to then you do harvesting.
Hasanka? Looks like, hello everyone. Looks like there's a bit of problem with the connection. So while we are back, I would like to ask the audience. So any further comments, any questions you have? Yes, Akram. There seems to be a problem with Hasanka's connection. So let's wait for him to get back. Hasanka?
I can hear you.
Okay, now it's fine, Hasanka. There was a kind of connection problem for about 30 seconds. The last bit you were saying wasn't
Sorry.
heard, I guess.
Okay. Well, I will summarize it. And
Yeah.
there are multiple opportunities, not only in environmental related area, but in healthcare, like well-being, and then forestry, even so would say food, agriculture related. So don't think twice. Sometimes you can't reap short term benefits, because when you germinate a seed, right, the seedling would be like 1 inch 2 inch, right, but then it might the value might be like 10 rupees 40 rupees would say, but when it grows or when it grows into like the mature status, sometimes you can't value it. It will give that, like the commercial value is very high. When it comes to rare species, it's very high. When it comes to, like we say, there are in Sri Lanka, we have certain fruit varieties, right? We have certain fruit varieties. I'm sure that when you are very small, you might be tried all these, like at least most of them, right? Like dung, laulu. I can't say, I can't remember the English term, but there are plenty of uh, fruits which you use like 20 years back, 30 years back. You might enjoy these things, right? But now you can't see these things. Now the land has been like acquired for development. Yeah, the projects came in, so nowhere space to go plants. So development and sustainability, someone has to trade off nature, right? So I think, don't think twice of starting in a nursery. It doesn't, it sometimes certain crops, it will have a short term benefits, but I'm sure long term, even for us to plant 2 million trees, we need trees, right? It has to be grown in Sri Lanka. So we might need your support as always. So so that's it.
All right, cool. So, Hasanka, we have limited time. So, I want to tackle three questions. If let's try to time box 3 minutes each, right?
Sure.
The next question is the business model, right? This is I think this is a critical question that we have to answer. So, tell me maybe any business model that works. One thing that I know is that crowdfunding is kind of is something that is used in social entrepreneurship. In your experience, what is the most recommended business model for anyone who wants to get started as a social entrepreneur?
Right. So I think you have like shared the crowdsourcing model. No, from my experience, I haven't tried that part. For
Right.
me, it's like what happened is like it was a completely bootstrap.
Hmm.
So when you do bootstrap, it is very tedious.
Right.
You can't see light. It was always dark.
Hmm.
When you see the opportunity, you can't see it.
Hmm.
You are like always short-handed. You are short in terms of resources, people, funding, everything.
Hmm.
So the model is like to become like to drive your social price.
Hmm.
Is like I would say it's not a model, but first
Right.
let's do the break even. Let's complete the break even.
Right.
That's it. The model
Okay.
is that.
Right. Right. Some way or the
Whenever-
other,
whenever-
finding how to break even.
break even. That's the model.
Okay. Because that's
I
the
don't have
point.
yes, I
Yeah.
don't have a theoretical
Right.
understanding on this,
Right.
right? Model.
Right.
Now you said you want to know a social enterprise. What is the model? So the model is first you do a like a small drop,
Right.
small drop. That is either mock run.
Right.
People say the alpha activity. We do a mock run. Also user group testing.
Right.
So if you
Right.
figure it out, the capabilities, issues, also potentials about it.
Got it.
So
Got it.
get the MVP done. None of the products are like perfect when they are like when they launch initially. Even Facebook, it was not there, right? So don't try to be super perfect. Whenever you do wrong, whatever the version you have, launch it, learn out of it, examine the user patterns, give value, offer a value, double the joy, right? Double the joy of the user. Word of mouth is the secret sauce, right? Nothing else. Word of mouth. First, pitch for your friends and families. They are your true investors, angels. They will nothing. You aren't going to lose on this. You will lose nothing. Learn from it. Then do a closer user graph, like a POC, right? And then get the MVP done. And then, even though you don't get monetary returns, either through charging, either through affiliation, either through any of these things, focus on the traction. Traction is the main important thing. If you have the traction for anything, you can later on you will figure it out something way to figure it out. Focus on the traction. Word of mouth is the secret essence. Calculate all your expenses. The success of your entrepreneurship is like how you apply your financial reporting. When you neglect financial reporting, it has happened for me even, right? That's why I'm taking this point, right? When you are a social entrepreneur, you might say we want to focus on the impact, so much more attractive words. But when you can't figure it out your actual expenses, you can't take rational decisions. Figure it out the expenses. Look into the gates where there are leakages. Try to reduce that leakages, right? And then even you make small returns, you can figure it out the break even point.
Excellent.
That's it.
Excellent. Yeah, so I think you gave most practical tips that you probably would have gone through in your journey. So I mean, when you talk about it, it really tells me, okay, this is great, right? So thanks for your insights. So the next question, I'm going to quickly move on, Hasanka. The next question is, now if someone wants to be a great entrepreneur, so you already took us through your insights, talking about how to get started, how you become a good entrepreneur. If you summarize, can you just bring up the top 3 things that one must adopt to be successful in their entrepreneurship journey as a social entrepreneur? So I'm looking for kind of the practical, let's say, habits or practices that they should have. It might be mindset as well, right? So the top 3 things in a summarized way.
So first thing would to be success in this journey is that you have to have that true sense, right? To see what is good and what is wrong.
Right.
Very simple thing, right?
Right.
Because whenever you don't have that thing, even whenever the degree you do, that doesn't mean what, right? Whatever technical knowledge you have, you will fail. And the other one is like you need to have a good mentor for a team. So none of the things I utter here are done individually. There were people behind me always gave me that aim,
Right.
even to take leading the job.
You
right?
need a lot of courage. I know
Yes.
that story, right? I know that story.
So
Someone needs to guide you and then give a bit of a push, right? Just go away, right?
right. So that's the thing. So that support, moral support, has to be there.
Right.
And last thing is which I was like uh, took in the second or third question is perseverance.
For sure. Okay.
I love the word perseverance, and as it is not a buzzword, because whenever you fail, you need to have that fire
Hmm.
inside you to reawaken up, right? I would say we are a battery. Think we are a battery.
Hmm.
It might be thin, it might be like 1.5 or whatever the voltage. We are I think always the human people as a battery. So there are people, their battery is like it will last long for like one time. When you purchase it, it has a heavy voltage, right, contained on it. But after some times, it will degrade and it's gone. But some people I have seen, and I really respect them, they're like rechargeable batteries. They also lose this voltage, the whatever the energy at some point, but they have their own recharging mechanisms, right? That's the correct way to present it.
I love it. Love it. Yes.
They have that rechargeable capability either within themselves, right, or either from their parents, family, or colleagues, friends, or organizations, or mentors, or the ecosystem. So Sri Lanka has a wonderful supporting entrepreneurship ecosystem, Niro, right? We even also can't do anything if the people doesn't know about anything about entrepreneurships, or the government organizations like ICTA or any other people, the private organizations. If they are not conscious about supporting the entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, we even can't go or come into this extent. Someone needs to trust us. So uh, that's perseverance is the final thing I would love to bring to and share with everyone. That in perseverance, that support from mentors, team, thought process, uh, other things really make you a success, like, and the 2 cents, these are the things. So it doesn't mean how good or brainy you are. It means how smart you are to use your skill set to deliver certain things, right? Or overall, your success depends on the level of your execution level. Either you are a talker, or you are a talking person, or you are a doer. This is the demarcation we really make you success or fail. But it's a fully subjective thing in the social entrepreneurship domain, especially. Some might follow or inspired by numbers. We have a 1 million USD worth company, or we have done 100,000 transactions. We have done blah 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 blah. For social entrepreneurs, I'm sure the outcomes are much more into impact. So the more the good you do, the more success you are.
Excellent. Love your insight, Hasanka. Yeah, so you are spot on. I think, you spoke about a lot of realizations I have had in my journey as well, not just about the entrepreneurship, right? Think of the social media, right? The most traction you generally get is for the rubbish, right? You do take a selfie with your family and then post it, and that gets the most number of likes and reactions, right? But the moment you say, hey, I'm for a good cause, right? It's challenging. Generally, the trends are not towards doing great stuff, right? I think that is one of the challenges the entrepreneurs will face, right? So the kind of the three characteristics that you mentioned, the qualities that the guys have to have will definitely keep you going, right? So again, thank you for your great insights. So I think we should wrap up the discussion. So we have taken so much of your time. Should appreciate your time. So the final question that I have for you is, summarizing the entire discussion, Hasanka, if you want to just give one message to the community, focusing on the people, the colleagues who wants to be social entrepreneurs, what is it? What is your single message for someone who wants to make an impact to the community, solving one problem that we have around us?
Problems are almost there. What you need to do is just stop and look into your society, environment. So if you want to become a social entrepreneur, I think that's the best decision you can take. But that doesn't mean you have to necessarily leave your job. Start small, fail fast, fail cheap. These are the things I would say which leads you to become a social entrepreneur. And think on how good small changes can make a bigger impact. The people around you. It's about changing lives. It's about changing behaviors. It's about empowering people. It's about preserving environment. It's about adapting good practices. So these are there are multiple pillars. You don't want to be super perfect. If you want to do something good, start small, keep doing. Might be one single initiative. My advice is, I might be wrong, but people again accuse me of commenting on this. But at least to try another 2 or 3 initiatives while doing first initiative, because we don't know what will work.
What works.
Exactly.
Right.
So you have to learn. It will require some time. So there's a learning curve. So then you have a passion, but you have a limited resources.
Yeah.
So when you try out few more things, when you have the more experience, Niroshan, then it will give you the light. I need to lock down this initiative or this. So whenever, like I recently had a chat with Heminder, so that like it was the outcome was like we also in our times there were multiple initiatives we did. So everyone have done something good, some good initiatives, all of you, right? Sometimes most of them didn't work out, right? Almost like that's so then what happened, what was we have stopped all these things. We thought we are failed, it's over, we have spent all the monies, we don't have money, it's a completely utter waste of time, resources, we gave up. But right person will think of, let's do a tweak, let's pivot from the concept, let's do adjustments and try to rephrase it and offer. So failing doesn't mean that you can't do it anymore. It doesn't mean after 1 month or 1 year or 2 financial years or 5 financial years. It doesn't mean no definitions that you have to give it up. You have to maintain a initiative portfolio. Then you can see 80-20 rule can be put onto the concept or the BCG metric. You can see the star, you can see the question mark, you see the dog, you see the cash cow, whatever the concept, adapt it, spot on like the initiatives, and then you will see, okay, this works, this works, this makes money, this makes this deliver much more impact. So then you will be a more successful entrepreneur. So that's it, Niro. That is the way you need to uh, that is the way I advise people to take on, but that is not the thumb rule. There is another thumb rule that you have to the conventional thumb rule is you have to focus one thing, fully focus, dedicated on a one dedicated mission, complete it. But I would say failures are inevitable. Try a few things, then you will definitely learn out of it, because we do have a short time period, and you have to do multiple times together, like in one instance. So because, and don't quit the job at once, but even in the traction point, it's okay, you quit the job, even though the product doesn't make required profits, that's fine, because it's an investment, Niroshan. It's a completely investment. When it comes to investing, people think that investing 100,000, 1 million, few millions it might be the success of the business. No, investment might comes as resources, it might comes as your knowledge, investment comes as your time is precious. So that is investment. So don't wait until someone come and fund, especially for Thuru and Zero Trash. Plenty of examples, we didn't wait until someone come and invest, still we don't have an investor, but we are not that focused on investments, right? Whatever we have, like say my car, my petrol, no. So I want to do good things, so we have the funding with us in the small, whatever the scale we do initiatives. That doesn't stop you, that doesn't stop anyone, any of you. So start small, don't wait for grants, funds, investments, series, like seeds. when you have traction, when you have anything, there's something called law of attractions, and also the dot will connect. The dot will connect. When you do good things, nature will connect the dot very easily. That's it.
Support you. Cool. Yeah, so absolutely fantastic insights, as well as it's absolutely great to have you on this show. Thank you very much for your time, Hasanka. Really appreciate it. So, I mean, your passion towards solving problems of the community, being courageous, being unstoppable. We must thank you, because we need people like you. We need a lot of people like you in our country, particularly, right? We have enough problems to solve. I think the starting is with us, right? So we need to ask ourselves, what's my contribution to my community? There might be one way or the other, so it's up to you to figure out what it is, what is your niche, what is the competencies that you can contribute with. So go for it. So again, thank you very much. So we definitely need to continue the discussion another day on another day. So until such time, take care, do the great stuff.
Thank you, Niro.
Yes.
I really enjoyed this session. The direct knowledge we gained throughout for the last few years.
Right.
For an example, my profession is project manager. I'm a project manager.
Yeah.
I have no academical knowledge in agriculture, forestry, waste management. But I really love to share the knowledge, share the failure to make others more successful. So these are the platforms, these are the opportunities for us to talk to people, right? So personally, we have been into Venture Frontier Lanka delivering. I think both of us has been to multiple universities in Sri Lanka to do the sessions. So we personally know our stories, but I really like the sessions you conduct. It's not about yourself. You try to show different stories for people, the followers you have. I really love what you do, and I wish you all the very best. And for those who took part today, thank you very much. I think in everyone's heart there's an entrepreneur, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be a social entrepreneur, but everyone has that momentum. Every people are blessed to become entrepreneur. Just it necessarily needs to no need to be leave your job. So try to grow your circle, the like-minded person circle, to become entrepreneur, and then you are being empowered. I would say the word empowered to go on this journey, because if you are single-handed, you can't do you can do small things, right? One or two, right? But you are being backed up with much more strong people. You can do wonders, right? So thank you again, Niro.
Yeah. Thanks a lot again, Hasanka. So we'll speak up another day. So with that, we are going to conclude the session. Thank you for everyone watched us, listened to us through LinkedIn and YouTube. So we'll be back soon with another great session like this. That is next week. It's already scheduled. So I'm going to talk to another entrepreneur who is a great designer, bringing up greater knowledge on the entrepreneurship journey, the innovation perspective particularly. So we'll see you there. until such time, take care, stay safe, and may the force be with you. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.